and welcome to part 3 of Africa's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters Podcast. Remember to jump onto the hashtag 3QP to let us know what your sporting interests and, maybe what you'd like to see on the show. I'm Demima Duffield.
And I'm Naro Kamuya.
So we start off with football, but not, our usual.
Yeah.
So FA Cup, round 4. Well, FA
you're
Cup
right.
round 4. And 2 matches that we'll look at.
Yeah.
Man City crushing Burnley FC, 5-0. And the other one, which I know everybody was looking forward to, was Arsenal versus Man United. So Arsenal going down.
Yeah.
Yes, going down.
Yep.
3-1.
Yeah. Wow. Look, I'll be very honest about this, especially the Arsenal versus Man United game, because that's where everyone was focused on.
Yeah.
We keep on saying that sports is entertainment. And for you to get the desired results, you have to enjoy what you're doing. There's the case where people keep on talking about analytics. People keep on talking about the mechanical nature of sports. But the fundamental, I believe, of sports is for you to enjoy it. When Zinedine Zidane became the coach of Real Madrid, Ronaldo said they had been performing very badly under Rafa Benitez. Cristiano Ronaldo said that the first thing Zinedine Zidane told them is enjoy the game. Tactics, Nini, they'll come in later.
Yeah,
but
just
enjoy the
it.
game.
Yeah.
That's what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done to Man United. Enjoy the game first. We will discuss tactics, but make sure you play this game because you enjoy it. Not because of the paycheck you're going to get, not because of anything. It's entertainment. The people who are coming to watch it enjoy this game. And I believe if you do that, then everything else follows. And we are seeing what's happening at Man United.
They're enjoying the wins.
They're enjoying the wins, exactly. And true, I'm an Arsenal fan. I wanted Arsenal to win. We are playing at home. I wanted Arsenal to win.
Of course.
But with what I've seen Solskjaer doing in the last few weeks at United, I was like, no, it's going to be very tough to beat these guys. These guys are enjoying football. They're playing football very well. They're playing football like Manchester United. It is going to be very difficult for Arsenal to beat United. So I'll be real. You have to enjoy the game first before the desired results come.
Yep.
And that's what you're seeing at Man United.
That's basically taking people back to when you were a kid. Why did you play?
Exactly.
You play because you love the sport.
Yes.
Like you'd go out, you'd play with your friends, you'd do something, guys would be like, oh.
Yep.
It was all about the love for the game.
Yeah.
So, you put everything aside, enjoy the game, and the results will come.
The results will come, that's true.
Yeah. So we move on to tennis. Australian Open.
Yeah.
Basically Grand Slam.
Yeah.
And in the men's singles, we had Novak Djokovic win 3-0 against Rafael Nadal.
Yeah.
In the women's, Serena was somewhere.
Yeah.
Didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
But our brilliant youngster, Naomi Osaka, winning 2-1 against Petra Kvitova.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kvitova, Petra Kvitova. Don't you get impressed about, the good thing about sport is every country in the world has a sport that they dominate.
Yeah.
So I always get very interested, or rather I'm happy when I see Eastern European countries. Novak Djokovic is from Serbia. Petra Kvitova is, I think, from Czech Republic or something. But you always get interested about how some countries have their dominant sports.
Yeah.
Anyway, Novak Djokovic versus Rafael Nadal. 2 of the foremost tennis players in the last 20 years. If you ask me, I think the golden era of tennis, together with Roger Federer. And it's good to see Novak Djokovic getting back into it. Yeah. He's been out of the scene for a hot minute, but it's good to see him getting back onto it. It's the first Grand Slam of the year. Just to school our viewers, we have 4 Grand Slams in a year. We have Australian Open, which is the first one. Then we have Roland Garros, which is the French
in English,
Open.
Roland Garros.
the French Open. Then we have Wimbledon, and then we have the US Open. Naomi Osaka, she's actually the winner of the US Open. She beat Serena Williams in the final. And it's like we're having a new era, of women tennis players. Granted, Serena is going to be there for next, I give it maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
But, the shift needs to focus now on this Naomi Osaka lady because she looks like she's going to be, there for a hot minute.
Yeah. It's good to see her come through the ranks. Side note,
Yeah.
watching the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Yeah.
And I remember her asking her, when you got your award, and guys were booing, and what were you thinking? Did you think they were booing for you? And she's like, to be honest, I thought they were, because it was so loud in there, and all I could hear was booing, and because she was asking her what was going through her mind, and she's like, and Serena told you something, she whispered something to you, and you started laughing. What did she say? And Naomi says that Serena basically told her, look, you deserve to win. The booing is not for you. It's just a situation. You deserve to win.
Yeah.
And that, that's a little light, sort of, and it's brilliant.
It is. It is brilliant. Yeah, that's true.
So very well done to her.
Yep.
I look forward to watching her.
Yeah.
Clearly, she's one to look out for.
That's true.
Yeah. So we move on to our beloved SportPesa.
Yeah.
Who pulled out of rugby. But anyway, so move on to SportPesa.
Yeah.
They're supposed to sponsor an F1 team, which is pretty exciting, I think. I mean, that's definitely a good direction to go in. Yes.
Yes.
So Formula One team, Racing Point,
Yes.
2-year contract, 10 to 12 million
Yes.
a season.
Yes.
That's no joke.
8 million the first year. Sorry, not shillings.
No.
8 million euros the first year. 10 million euros the second year. And then they have the option to renew the contract. And in the third year, it's going to be 12 million euros. Look, it's a good move for SportPesa. Hundreds of millions of people watch the F1, watch Formula One, and it's a growing sport. Now, to sponsor this team, Force India, is a good move.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine the number of people who are going to be focusing on this team.
Yeah.
And I think SportPesa do get a return on investment when they sponsor these foreign teams. When people sit down, I mean, I was in a forum where people were discussing how these people go to sponsor F1. They leave us, what's the word? They leave us in problems. Kenya Sevens would have been a better avenue. And guys really laughed. They're like, are you nuts? First. Second, guys were asking, the reason why they don't sponsor us here is because of the management of the money.
Yeah, it's simply that.
It's simply that.
It's simply that.
It's accountability. They know that if they give 8 million euros, 8 million euros, Damima, that's 800 million shillings. If they give that to Force India for 1 year, they're going to see the return on investment. So it's a brilliant move by SportPesa. I mean, it's good, and it's good for the sport of F1. You only hope that the guys who are crying for sponsorship in Kenya, the reason they're going to sponsor there is not because, granted, they do get a lot of exposure. But at the same time, they know if they use the 8 million, or they give the 8 million,
it will come back.
It will come back.
It will come back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just plain as day.
Yes.
There's no two ways about it.
Yep.
It's not even a debate you're going to go on with, and that's it.
Yep.
So just to wrap it up,
Yep.
bonus topic. So we're talking about Elias McCory. Elias McCory. Yes. No, just,
Yes.
So he wrote an article in the Daily Nation about public-private partnerships.
Yeah.
Yes. So in sports, and that's the way to run the game. That's the way to host sporting events. And he even used an example, used the Super Bowl, and he's like, so this is how the government has partnered with owners of businesses,
Yes.
because obviously the government. I mean, it doesn't matter which government you are and how much money you have. You cannot run a tournament or something of a really great magnitude by yourself.
True.
You've got to use the people in the community and the people around you.
Yeah.
And he was talking about this in relation to the IAAF championships, which will be held in Nairobi.
Yeah.
And he was just saying that the IAAF sent representatives and they went and they looked at Kasarani and they were just like, wow, like the descriptions he gave. Please look for that article. Please look for that
That's
article.
very true.
But and he's like, this is not a world-class setting, as in it just makes it harder when you're trying to vie for something.
Yeah.
And he was now giving examples of how this could be done. But what do you think of what he said?
This is the second time, by the way, he's written an article I've read on. He has that column of his called Business of Sports. It's the second one where I've read that he's used the NFL as an example. And the reason he's talking about PPPs, public-private partnerships, is because in Atlanta what happened is that, the Super Bowl this year is going to be in Atlanta. Yeah. And you had the business community in Atlanta, I think, fork out about $16 million. Government, through legislation, that's the state government, the Georgia state government, through legislation, offered the NFL some tax rebates. Some revenue came out from tickets, the game tickets. And what this does is that then it makes it a very attractive reason for the NFL, for example, to take the Super Bowl to Atlanta. If I know I'm going to be getting rebates, then of course,
why not?
Yes, I'm going to go there.
Of course, yeah.
So PPP is basically public-private partnerships. It's just that you have the public, which is the government, and you have privates, which is business. They come together and they sink in money, or they do legislations to help foster something. When SportPesa launched 2GMini, the 2GMini campaign, this was one of the reasons why they were doing it. It was for PPPs, it was for public-private partnerships in sports. But Amima, here is where I think the problem is. Number one, there's a lack of leadership in the ministry. The ministry cannot sit down and come up with such ideas. We don't have visionaries. We don't have guys who can sit down and see things big. Because there's a PPP wing, by the way, in Treasury. All they need to do is just talk to Treasury and talk to these big corporates. And with these big corporates, they know this money is not going to be taxed. If I'm giving $16 million, I'm not going to be taxed on that $16 million. So that's one of the things I think is a problem. The second thing I think is a problem is the lack of leadership in the federations and the unions. We don't have guys who are forward thinking. We don't have guys who are innovative, for the lack of a better word. We don't have guys who can sit down and say, look, if I take this to government, we have the likes of Mwangima there, but we don't have guys just now who can sit down and say, if I take this to government and I tell government, you pass this legislation, give tax rebates to IWF or whoever is going to bring in equipment, then we'll get the business community to raise money, because the business community knows this money is going to come back. You can imagine the amount of festivities in Atlanta until the Super Bowl. You can imagine if you bring a tournament of that magnitude to Kenya. Like the WRC, the World Rally Championship, when it finally comes back, Damima guys will see what we're talking about, the magnitude of such. The amount of activity that will be happening just before that WRC happens is going to be ridiculous for the business community. So we don't have these guys in these unions. And the last part is that we really treat sports as a pastime. We don't look at sports as a business. And that's why, because of looking at it that way, then we'll never be able to milk some of these opportunities that are there, because it's there in legislation. We can lobby the government. The government is looking for revenue and revenue streams. So I think those are the three problems. I think that's why.
I definitely agree. I mean, when you look at sport as a pastime, then you look at it as basically like, if I get this position, I'm not even doing research on how to better things. I'm just there, I'm happy, I'm getting paid, and we move on. But I mean, let's hope that we get more people who are looking at things like this. Guys, what you think? Remember, you can find us on social media. That is by following us on Instagram, liking our page on Facebook, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm Jimmy Duffield.
And I'm Nora Kamuya.
See you when I see you.
There we are, don't die.
I said see you, then I realized.